Yo, salute everyone. What's good? Knicks Real Talk. We in the building, man. I got my man Shop Howard in here with us, man. We about to get it popping. About to get into the Knicks follow-up, man. You know what it is, man. The post-game follow-up, Knicks Real Talk, still in Nick Town. Salute to the youngins. So that's what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna get into it, break it all down, get into it tonight. My man Shop Howard was good, my brother.
Salute to you, Divine. Salute to the chat. Let's get it.
Yeah, real talk, man. We about to break down this pregame follow-up, man. Knicks, Brooklyn Nets at the World Most Famous Arena last night. Obviously, we took an L last night, 110-98. Pulled pretty much in the game for the whole while, man. But in the last quarter, man, they KD and Kyrie, the All-Stars that they are, the Hall of Famers that they are, came in and got in their bag, man, did what they had to do, and that they pulled away with it, man. So it was all good, man. But the young guys came to play last night. Shot Powers, Obi Toppin had a great game. I like the way he played. Jericho Sims had a good game. RJ not so much from a statistical standpoint, but they battled though. They battled, gave us something to be happy about, man. But at the same time, you know what? I just wish we could have kind of executed a little bit more, hit the free throws at the end during the course of the night. Might have been a different story. But salute to the chat, those salute to everybody, man. Like I said, closed panel show until the end of the season, man. That we let people in at the end of the season, but as of right now, it's still a closed panel show, man. We can't do that right now for certain reasons. But anyway, man, let's go talk about it. Chop Powers. That place was electric last night. They was in there balling. Knicks had a good first half. The second half that came out, not 48 minutes, but they was battling though.
Yeah, it was a very good game to watch, just to watch the young guys out there running up and down, doing their thing, running amok out there, stuff like that. And I, be- I believe fourth quarter, you start seeing the guys get a little lethargic a little bit. Uh, fourth quarter, RJ was up to about 40 something minutes, 44, 40 something minutes. He played almost the whole game. Just a lot of guys play a lot big minutes in that game. We didn't have a big we only had I think 9 players, so I understand down the stretch. The game was once again something that we've seen before. The turnovers and the missed free throws what kind of killed us this year. So hopefully this off season these guys hit that free throw line real hard, man, and come back up here. Hopefully they could come back and we could probably be a high 70 point, 78, 70 something, closer to 80 points for for the team for the season next year. It'll be a great improvement. You hit your free throws majority of the time, you win the games.
Yeah, real talk, man. Super man KJ, we got you, my brother. I hope them storms pass by, man. You can get it popping, man. But we got you though. Yeah, real talk. You know what? What interesting for me was, the way they came out. They came out, man. They had RJ on Durant the whole game. That was amazing for him to even get the experience to do that. You know what I mean? To be able to play almost a 7 foot guy, you like 6'8" or 6'7", whatever. RJ tried to do his best against Durant in the first half, held him in check a little bit. Then, like I said, him and Kyrie started running amok in the second half. But overall, man, it was good. The place was electrifying. The Garden was good. I mean, the fans was loving it. So I think for me, for the players anyway, it's a moral victory for them because regardless if they lost the game, nobody expected with the lineup that we had out there, with all the guys that we had missing to be Kyrie and KD. With all the guys, we had a bunch of young guys in there other than Fournier and Alex Burks. You know what I mean? And everybody else was youngest, but they came to play. They looked at fun, like you said. Jericho Sims had a chance to really get his thing popping last night. The man had a good game, man. 10 points, 13 rebounds. You know what I mean? 3 blocks. He was doing it. 1 steal. That's why I said him and Mitchell Robinson, man. You got to make sure them 2 dudes come back to New York next season. That's a nice front court to have with them 2 guys. And so I was happy about that. And quickly didn't have a offense game, but he did have 5 assists. And they played a major role. Burks had 8 points. Not Fournier. I'm sorry about that. Alex Burks had 24 points, but he was a minus 17. Everybody was in the minus except for McBride and Fournier, but they had the least points though. But that's go to show you, once some guys got to go into the second quarter, you couldn't stop Durant in that middle. Hitting them jump shots in the middle, man. He got a good mid-range game. Kyrie had a couple of threes there, but like I said, the foul line was killing us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
21 for 36. We only shot 53% from the 3-point line. I mean, from the charity stripe. Sorry about that. And 34% from the 3-point line. 13 for 38. You're not gonna win like that. You know what I mean? But but we got to just keep grinding, man. It was good to see though the maturation of the young guys. I'm happy about what I seen though. They was competing and battling. Obviously, the stronger team won with the more dominant talent at the end. But the maturation of Obi Toppin last night was special. That was good to see. And I yeah.
One of the big things that the Knicks front office is really going to have to look at this year is how Obi Toppins played for the last month or so. I got a stat, and I got a stat. When Obi gets 20 minutes a game, you know how many times he done that this year?
About 5.
He played 17 times.
Mm,
17 times he's played 20 minutes. And his average in those 17 times that he played over 20 minutes is 14 points, 6 rebounds. He's 59% field goal percentage, and his 3-pointer is 33.3% from 3-pointers.
mm-hmm.
That for about 20 minutes a game, scoring almost 15 points a game and 6 rebounds is a big number for a second year player that if he gets more minutes, he'll score more points.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things I believe that the Knicks will have to take upon themselves this year to figure out if we uh, stay with Randall or we move on from Randall and we fill the spot with Obi Toppin. That
Mm-hmm.
would be, I believe that's going to be one of the big looks this year. I'm coming to the conclusion that we may keep Fournier this year, and if we could seduce him to come off the bench, that might be a better role for him to come off the bench as well. So for me, I hope those are two of the biggest things that the Knicks look to do in this offseason, aside from moving off of these other contracts. But I think those two things is something that we really have to take into consideration to make this team a more efficient team.
Yeah, know what's interesting to me, man. What I do like about Obi Toppin, he causes a mismatch problem. I love
Mm-hmm.
when they do the switch, then he wind up being in a post with a guard. Then they just throw that ball over the top. His game is, man. Like I said, really, it's going to be interesting to see um, what they do at Randall, because I think what Obi Toppin is doing, man. I mean, this cat, he gets it on the floor, he gets it on the transition buckets. He got the mid range game, the 3-point shot looking good. We need about 2 more athletic guys like Obi Toppin. You know what I mean? I think that athleticism changed the game because it keeps a lot of teams who don't have guys could do what he could do to be able to stay up with this guy, man. I mean, he was really doing his thing last night, man. He had 19 points. He had 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 blocks, bro. Over
Mm-hmm.
3
Over 20,
blocks, 1
over 20
steal.
minutes last night. Over
Right,
20
40
minutes.
minutes. He shot an efficient game, 7 for 13, 2 for
Mm-hmm.
4 from 3, and he shot 50% from the foul tech. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if you get them numbers in the last 3 games, 20, 20, and 19.
Yeah, you might as well say 20, 20, 20, and 20 because I think the game before the last game he scored like 17 because he
Mm-hmm.
got more than 20 minutes. It's
Yep.
it's something that the Knicks are gonna have to really look into, man. Because I mean, just imagine, hypothetically speaking, could you see him coming down the left wing? You see Reddish coming down the right wing, and you got someone like Donovan Mitchell bring it off of a steal, running up the court with these two guys on the wing. Could you
Mm-hmm.
imagine that? Could you imagine Donovan Mitchell uh, clearing it out, driving to the hole, and Mitchell Robinson makes the cut, and he gives him that uber duper jump up in the air slam dunk. I believe we need also a point guard. If we're going to stick with IQ, I'm cool with that. There's some trades out there. If it happens for the Mavericks, we really want to pick up this guy Brunson, he is a real point guard. If he really wants to leave, maybe they do a sign and trade and trade Randall over there, or it all depends, man. I hope that the big talk right now. I hope that the big talk right now is to look to see if they can uh go big fish hunting. I hope that they can think about going big fish hunting and go out there and get them a premier point guard. Now, there's not too many out there, so it would have to be in trade. So we will have to see what we could do with either Randall or Fournier. But I would be more, I'd be, it'd be less likely that Fournier leaves. I believe Randall would be the one that they'll be looking to try to move on from. If so, I don't know if Randall. I mean, let me say this too. Hopefully, Randall could change his mindset if we get another guard in here, something like that, to really push the ball and do things that take the ball out of Randall's hand. Maybe he could change his mind, the way of thinking and stuff like that. Go get some, relaxation for his mind, for his family and stuff like that, and do some different things. But if I don't know if he'll be able to stay here in New York Knicks the way the Knicks fans, how harsh we are, man. We could be some real, on top of it Knicks fans, man, and I don't know if Randall's ready. I think Randall's ready for a small market, man. Portland, Mavericks, something like that. I think he'll be ready to move on, especially Dallas. I think he would love to go to Dallas or Portland to go play with Lillard. He wouldn't have to need the ball in his hands. And they got a nice little young crew down there. Him and Lillard. I think that'd be a good tandem.
Yeah, real talk. Real quick, just to answer KJ's question said, who have more trade value? I think Burks got more trade value than Fournier and Noel. I believe that. I think KJ to me because I think he's having a better season than all of them. You know what I mean? The cat can score buckets. He's 6'6", and he's versatile. You know, the Knicks got him playing point guard right now, so I think you can use him in a lot of spots. You know what I mean? You can use him at the 1, 2, or the 3. So that's what makes him to me more valuable than Noel or Fournier, because not only his contract is only $10 million, but it's what he could do. He could play a lot of different positions. You know what I mean? And that's real talk, man. I can't get into the personal stuff in the chat, man. And I really and I'm
No,
and
Divine, don't even I mean, the chat is the chat. We read it when we see it. You know, what I mean,
right,
it's out there. I
right.
mean, I feel you, Tricky. I'm sorry for your loss and all that stuff. But it is what it is, man. Maybe when it's not like you haven't been on, so you shouldn't be beasting to try to get on now. It's all good. We ain't gonna be on long. We only gonna be on for a little bit. Don't sweat it. We'll see you next time.
Yep. Yeah, but I do think Burks got more trade value than all of them because of what he could do. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks bring him back. You know what I mean? The play on the team he might not start, but I don't think that I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks. He's a valuable piece. He's one of the few guys that I wouldn't have a problem coming back just to be a veteran on a team. You know, he can come off the bench, helping somebody off the bench, and do that, man. But I won't, salute Will, appreciate you, my brother. Yeah. But I think Burks is a valuable piece, man, and he do have the most trade value if you have to trade him. I can see him going somewhere, but hopefully, he come back because with the young core that we have down here right now, from what I'm seeing, I like these 10 young men we got, man. We got a lot of good young energy here, Shy Powers, man. A lot of good young energy, and I really want to see the Knicks bring all them guys back. But I understand if something happens, they go do something, and I understand it, but. If they don't do anything, then we kind of got to expect what's going to happen every time we run up against these superior teams in the NBA. If we don't make no moves, we can't expect the Knicks to beat the KDs and the Kyries and the Joel Embiids of the world on a regular, because if they don't have that certain guy on a team who at the end of the game can take us home, you know what I mean? That's all we missing really, other than shooting terrible free throws and things like that. But you still got to have a guy who could take us home. And I think RJ one day might get there, but he's not there right now because he got to get in the offseason, get the free throws down, to the jump shot more clear and better, and get his facilitating game a little bit more better. But he's on the cusp of being there. But as of right now, we don't have that guy. Randall's not that guy. Fournier's not that guy. Burks is the closest one we got. That can literally close a game in the fourth quarter like that, you know, and we definitely
Facts.
need a closer, because without a closer, see,
Facts.
that was the difference in the game last night. Shot Powers, they had closers, you know, they
Mhm.
had closers and we didn't. So when the game got tight, KD and Kyrie been there, done that. They ain't that ain't nothing to them, you know what I mean? But salute to our boys for playing hard though. They were scrapping and getting it done, man. They're just at the end of the game. We was 94-96. You know, a couple of selfish plays here and there, turnover, but them free throws, man. If anything, we working. I don't know if we need a free throw shooting coach or the case may be. But you know, because we need some guys that can teach you guys how to shoot that ball, man. And
that
I
that
think that's gonna be important.
that is one of our big downfalls for the season. Not so much just for last game, but for the season. We have lost about 7 games because of free throw shooting. You know, and we lost about where my paper at? I can't remember. I think it was like 7 to 9 from turnovers,
Mm-hmm.
more than 12 turnovers a game. But to get back to KJ's point, who would Noel definitely got to go. I don't want to see Noel next year. I don't care if we move on from Mitch or not. I think we can go get some veteran minimum somewhere for a couple of $1 million and probably back up Sims if I don't want to see Noel next year. Burks or Fournier. I believe for me, I like Burks. I'm Mr. B. That's my guy. I think he's coming back next year. If I was to pick for Burks or for Fournier, both of them got high upsides this year. Both of them played pretty well this year. Fournier is, if I'm not mistaken, like the top 5 or 7 3-point shooter in the league this year. You know, so that's pretty big. He can hit the shot. Fournier needs a point guard. He really needs someone to give him the ball so he could take the shot instead of him dribbling and have to take the shot. So if we keep Fournier, we got to get a point guard. I think Mr. B is coming back next year. I think Mr. Burks is going to be on the team next year for veteran leadership. I think they may try to move on from Fournier. They may try to move on from Randall, but I got an even better. And I don't want to say better, but I got another option. Who would you rather have next year, Alec Burks or Derrick Rose?
Man, you know, for me, I'm only reason I'm going to say Rose because he's a true point guard,
Mhm.
and he can really, you know, he can do his thing. I think with his between his 14 and Burks' 10 million, I still would take Derrick Rose just due to the fact of what he could do. But at the same time, you got to be concerned about the injury thing too. Alex Burks is not an injury. He was injury prone a little early in his career, but he's been playing just about the whole year this year. Opposed to you know, Derrick Rose, who suffered an ankle injury and he got surgery. So that's a tough one, man. But I do think salute Spreewell, salute to my brother, salute.
Salute. Stay
I think
forth.
yeah, I think you can go either way. But I think from a point guard standpoint, you want to go with. I like Alex Burks though. I like what Burks has given us this year.
Facts.
I wish he was more like in his natural position. You know what I mean?
Right.
Natural position back on the bench. You know, at the 2 or the 3, backing up them guys. Um, but I think Burks really gives us that versatility. Derrick Rose gives us that veteran leadership experience at the point guard. But that's what's so interesting to me, man. That if this team wouldn't have been hurt this year, I think you might have seen a different Knicks team. You know what I mean? And I think, you know, the Derrick, that just to show you that how important Derrick Rose was, because you know,
That was the biggest thing right there.
yeah, because even with Alex Burks, we still losing. You know what I mean? So, you know, a
You
lot of these
too,
guys, and
KJ.
I think a lot of us, for me personally, I just don't want Nick fan to think that we comfortable with guys who put up numbers, but the team is not winning. You know what I mean? And I think that makes a difference to me that, yeah, a guy can get numbers, but or is it contribute to winning? You know what I
Facts.
mean? And I think that's what we got to kind of really get our heads around is like, yeah, granted, this cat can drop 20, this cat can drop 15, but are we winning games with him? And I just think,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is he dropping that percentage of that 15 when we need it instead of early in the game when everybody's starting to get warmed up?
Yeah, yep,
Mm.
yep. I can see that. Once a Nick, yeah, I think you know. And here's another thing. Like even in last night's game, to me, even though Fournier he was only 8 points. He was a +7. Even McBride was a 3-point, but he was a +3. I did not understand why Tiz didn't bring them guys back in. Well, at least McBride anyway, to put some defense on, help on the defense end. You know what I mean? So I didn't understand that part. I didn't understand the 5 ISOs in a row to Alex Burks. You know, but and I think that kind of changed the game right then and there in that fourth quarter, because when you went to that ISO ball, you know, he was trying to give it to Kyrie too much, and I think them things was didn't work for us, man. And we needed some timely shots, like the Queen said. Salute to yo, y'all make sure y'all go holler at the sister, man. Dope Soul Sports Talk. That's Queen Steph. You already know Queen's Court. Real talk, man. But yeah, to me, that's what it was, man. It was just like when know what it was when KD them started getting in their bag. You seen our young guys starting to tighten up a little bit. You know what I mean? They started to tighten up. So I do think that made a difference in the game. But for the most part, Child Power, we played a good 3.5 quarters. You know, we played 3.5 quarters, man. When that game was 94-96, like, you know, they took the lead, then we took the lead back. We was right there, and we didn't have them guys to bring us through. RJ was, you know, he was forced it a little bit too much at the time, and that's my man. You know, I'm a big RJ dude, but last night he wasn't looking for his teammates the way he needed to last night. And I think that was the kind of made a difference, because it was a couple of plays that he could have hit somebody, could have made a big difference in that game. So that's just something that he got to learn going into the all season. We're going to facilitate and, you know, don't be too selfish. I know it's KD and Kyrie. You kind of want to show everybody you got your godfather over there coaching the Nets, so you want to have a good game. You know what I mean? I get that, but at the same time, you know, don't lose the team concept. You know what I mean? I think RJ did that last night to me. He shot 7 for 27, but he also wasn't facilitating that ball. You know what I mean? And I think that was one of the issues last night with him. Last night, you know, he has 7 rebounds, 7 assists, but that was all in the first half. You know what I mean? That second half, the game got tight, and I noticed RJ got tight a little bit. He kept trying to.
He was tired, man. He played like, salute to once the Nick, always a Nick. Yeah, he played like 40 plus, man. I think 40. I think he played damn near the whole game. I think he maybe missed 2 minutes, maybe 45, 46 minutes he played. He played off. And yes, KJ, I switched back and forth to the ESPN to watch a little bit of the old school and the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. It was pretty all right. It's pretty. I hate that. What's the man? Not Mob. Mike, was it Bang? What's his name?
Oh, Mike Green.
Mike Green. I hate that Mike Green was in ESPN, but that made me watch it a little bit more, though.
Yeah. I didn't get that. I was pretty much so glued into the first one. I didn't have a chance to change it. I was so hypnotized by watching the game because that first half had me hyped. Yeah, I agree, man. We did have only 8 guys, but you know, but I think the thing was when you didn't let McBride get back in there. That was to me that was it, because his defense could have kind of helped us when they started getting on a run. At least he had fouls to give. You know, he's a good defender. You know, and because Alex Burks could have been getting tired. You know, Alex Burks played for 38 minutes. So I thought that if you would have put McBride in there for a little bit anyway to spell him, to give Alex Burks some rest, and maybe Deuce McBride's defense could kind of help slow Kyrie down. And I thought that would have made a difference, but Tibbs, you know, he stuck with what he did, and it's understandable, man. He the coach, he do what he got to do. But overall, I was excited about it. I like what I seen, man. I'm excited about Obi Toppin. I'm excited about Jericho Sims. I hope him and Mitchell Robinson can hold down that center spot in New York for me. I think you sign Mitchell and have Jericho back him up next year. I think that'd be awesome. You know what I mean? I really do. And then hopefully we can get these other guys. I don't know what they're gonna do with Cam Reddish. Still got a year left, so he'll be back. You know, they don't have to sign him now. But I'm excited about it coming. I'm excited about it moving forward, man. We just got to. I don't know what we're gonna do in the draft. Do we keep the draft pick? What do you guys think? Do you think we keep the draft pick, or you think we package it? Which you guys on play on that? Yeah, he only played a Steph. That was 7 minutes, man. I was like, man, and you know, it's the end of the season. You got 2 games left,
and we short on players too.
Short on players, but you got moves, man. You know, throw that man there, and I think he got to come to grips with that next year, man. These young guys is hungry, and I think he would have made a big difference in that game, man, because his defense was going to carry us in that last quarter when you had to slow somebody down. And then, you know, even when he wasn't on Kyrie, they could have put him on Patty Mills. You know what I mean?
No, I told you about what I say about Patty Mills.
They could have put him on Patty Mills. They could have did something like that to help slow that offense onslaught that was coming our way. You know, but it didn't happen, man. But overall, it was a good game, though. I walked away with a good feeling. I hated to lose it. You know, it was the Nets. I didn't want to lose to them. real talk. But I was also happy that with Jericho Sims, Obi, them guys was real. They were doing their thing, man. And Will said I could see us trading that pick, especially if it, yeah, trading it
I've
down.
been saying
Um,
that.
yeah, because I'm trying to think, unless if you get something down there, what's down there that you got to think and make a difference on the team with all the young talent we got? I mean, like I said, we don't get rid of some of these veterans. I don't know if that pick won't even be there.
I'm going to say this, Divine. Watching this new regime that we have right now, they are how can I say it? They are the best push back your pickup players that I've seen in a long time. They take their pick and it could be the 16th pick and they move it back to the 32nd pick and we come with a Grimes or something like that, or push it back and we get a player like IQ, or we push it back and we get a player like McBride or Mitchell Robinson. Oh, well, I think Mitchell Robinson was a different regime though. So let me take that back. Not that regime, but they do know how to push back their picks and pick players. The one thing I want to say about last night, what I also enjoyed watching, is seeing all the injured players from our team on the bench last night.
Mm-hmm.
We seen uh uh I don't think Mitch was there. Mitch had maybe had some stomach flu or something like that. But Randall was there last night. D Rose has been sitting on the
Cam
bench,
Reddish.
and Cam Reddish was sitting out there. You know what I mean? So that's what I wanted to see with these last games, because to show that you want to be here is to make sure that you here. Are you on contract anyway? So more than likely, if you had a New York game, unless you got you in some super duper rehab or something like that, I think you have to come. I'm not 100% sure. You might not have to go out on the road with them, but I think home games. I think that I'm not 100% sure, but I remember hearing this years ago that if you sign to a contract on home games, if you come in, you don't have to come, you don't have to go to the away games, but the home games you have to come into. But whatever the fact is, I was glad to see those guys sitting on the bench last night representing the New York Knicks last night. You know what I mean? Just to see what could be for next year, man. It's some big things. I think with the pick, if we get it all depends, because there's a lot of now that I've been doing my homework, looking at these new draft picks and stuff like that. There's a couple of guys out there. This one guy from the Knights, Davis.
Mm.
He's like a 6'6" point guard. He's a real good defender. Can't really shoot a 3-pointer that great. They say that when he jumps up, it seems like he moves his body left or right, instead of that parallel that you're supposed to do when you shoot a jump shot. But overall, he looks pretty good. Bennett looks pretty good. There's a couple of guys out there that, if we're looking to go point guard, but I don't think we're going point guard. We already have four guards, 4 or 5 guards right now. So I believe to pick whatever we get. If we move on from Randall, we may look to get a big man in the pick. If I think that may happen to back up Obi. If we move on from Randall, that's only if we move on from Randall. That's the only way that I see us looking to get some type of power forward or something like that.
Mm.
And I hope tomorrow's game. Oh, even Hunt was on the court last night. I mean, not on the court. He was in the
Mm.
sitting down. I think I seen him sitting there yesterday. So I hope he get a little bit of playing time to see what he got. But I think we take that. If it all depends if we move on from Randall. If we move on from Randall, I believe we use that pick to get one of these big guys. That's a slew of power forwards in this draft this year. And if we move on from Randall, it's a possibility that we can snatch one of those guys up to put behind Obi. And but if not, if we go a big fish hunting, that pick this year, the pick the Mavericks pick next year, and the pick in 2024 first round, our first round in 2024 will be moved. Those three picks, those three first round picks would be put in the package with some of these guys, whoever it is, if it's putting it to somebody. If we're going to get Zion, there's a whole lot of words out there about Zion. We're going to need those three picks to get Zion. So if we're thinking about going to get DeAndre Murray, we're going to need those three picks to even think if we're going to even try to go to San Antonio and ask for a player like Murray. If we're going to get Mitchell, those three next first round picks, our pick this year, the Mav picks next year, and the 24-25 pick for our first round will be in a package to go somewhere to get us one of those predominantly strong point guards.
Yeah. Because to me, you don't have to. You don't have even if you move a pick, you don't have to get older, guys. I don't. I don't think. I think you can find a free agent or you can find a trade partner that talent fits the timeline. I don't think necessarily that if you trade a pick, you trade a pick to get older. I don't think that case. I think you can also find players in our guys' timeline, like Donovan Mitchell and Zion Williamson and Devontae Murray and all these guys. Not saying we're gonna get them, but and even Jalen Brunson, they fit the timeline. They still in their young 20s. You know what I mean? So you can definitely because you can. I don't have a problem with a 10th, 11th pick if you're going to be able to get somebody of that caliber, because it's not like we getting guys who's like 30 years old. See, them the guys that now y'all see I
Facts.
want to get rid of some of these guys we got now that's 30 years old.
Facts.
I understand how Fournier, I get it, he can shoot the ball, but he's 30 years old. And that's on, and I understand Alex Burks, I understand he could get bucket, but he's 30 years old. So you got Nerlens Noel and then Derrick Rose and them who up there. I don't have no problem replacing all them guys with somebody who fit the timeline. You know what I mean? But at the same time, then you got to be able to sign a guy like Todd Gibson for $5 million. He should be a stay on this team, because I'd rather pay Todd Gibson $5 million than pay somebody $19 million who's 30 years old and things of that nature. But I would like to see us get a couple of young stars in the league who fit the timeline, who could take the pressure off of RJ and them guys like that. Absolutely. I mean, we need vets. I guess what I'm saying is I don't have a problem having vets. We need the Todd Gibsons of the world, but I think we can get vets. Like, put like this here. Like, I'm just throwing a name out there because it's the name. Like, you can get Carmelo Anthony for $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, and could do some of the things that some of these guys that we got making $18, $19 million is doing. You know what I mean? So, and I think we need older guys to teach the young guys when they, like last night. Can you imagine we had a certain type of older veterans who could have put these guys when the thing started, when the clamp started getting tight last night? You would have had a guy in there who can calm them down or say, "Okay, guys, hold up. We need to do this." That's when you miss a Derrick Rose. You miss Derrick Rose because Derrick Rose could have calmed that team down last night when KD was running amok. So you're going to always need veterans on your team. I just don't want to pay no veteran $20 million. That's my whole point. I don't think we need to pay nobody when you can go get veterans who not looking to take over nobody's spot. Like, like Todd Gibson not looking to take Sims' spot. He's not looking to take Mitchell Robinson's spot. He's looking just to be that veteran with leadership there. You know what I mean? But if you need him to come in there and get buckets or play defense, he can do it. And we need guys like that who want $5 million deals. And then you get the prep of young guys that we already got. Like, all you think about all the young talent we got. And if you get a couple of guys that can fit their timeline and also have somebody like Todd Gibson, a Carmelo Anthony, they're not looking to take over no game. They're not looking to be the man. They just want to be able to help these guys grow and get better. And I think that I think that's what it is. But we got a young nucleus there, man. Knicks got a lot of young talent. If you look at our team, man, that out of that 15-man roster, the 10 of them probably young. They probably young. Real young. Shaw Powell. Other than Derrick Rose, Todd Gibson, Alex Burks, Fournier, and Nerlens Noel, everybody else, even Julius is only 27.
Yeah.
Other than that, we got a whole young squad there already. We got like 10 guys in our rotation who real young, under 25 almost. So, I don't think the young thing is not the issue. I just think that, you got to have guys with experience on your team to help teach the young guys how to get better. Like Jericho Sims said, when in the press interview, he's like, man, guys like Todd Gibson, all these guys, he's like, they all showing me the way. And you need guys, you need like guys who can, like, you look at Anthony Simons, he got Damian Lillard. You look at this guy, got a veteran point guard. He's a young guy. He got somebody to mentor him, to bring him along. And I think Derrick Rose did a good job of that. I think that's why quickly advanced the way he advanced, because he had guys like Derrick Rose around him. And I think that's so important. So I see why Ted bring guys like Derrick Rose and Todd Gibson. I wouldn't care if you keep them two and let everybody else go. And I really think I just think that much as I like Fournier, much as I like Alex Burks and them, I think you can get that money to the Cam Reddishes of the world and these guys, and let these older guys put these two guys on the bench to help them. You know, like put like this here. I just bring up the Carmelo Anthony name because can you imagine Obi Toppin learning how to play the power forward in the NBA behind learning from Carmelo Anthony, his foot game, his mid-range game. Carmelo Anthony could teach that boy so much stuff about NBA basketball. Obi Toppin wound up being a 25 score game because he got that much skills. He got that much natural raw talent. He just needs somebody who can get in the gym with him every night. Like, okay, you know what? Carmelo, I can imagine Carmelo Anthony in practice with Obi Toppin in the corner. Obi, he'll go your jab step. Obi, you do this. Obi, spin baseline. Or Obi, when the guy throw the head fake, you watch out for that. That's what mentors are, and I just think that's what we got. We just got to get some mentors around these guys. I think they're gonna be good to go. I really do.
Yeah, and don't take the vet talking about the way we talking. Of course, if we could get a Carmelo here, and I probably think he may think about asking to come back because
Mm-hmm.
coming back to New York. Plus, I think his son is in high school or something like that at Arch one of these schools out here in New York. So that might be an idea that you throw out there that you may see that happen this year. But the vets that we're talking about are more like uh more like on the scale of a Julius Randle veteran, 27, 26 to 28, somewhere in that range, 29, some young veterans that's been in the league 6, 7, 8 years already. They're established. They already been through, if they already been moved from a team or something like that, they got a little experience knowing the guys. Because the one thing about playing this basketball, you know, next year these guys will be way better than they are this year because they played a full season playing these players at least 2 times in the year, and that hopefully they can know these guys a little better for next year. The more times you play a player, the better you play against them defensively. And if these guys are just going to get better because they're young and they want to eat. They need the food to eat. You feed them the food to learn, and these guys will go out there and flourish. So I think maybe a couple of younger I don't want to say young veterans, but more seasoned veterans. Because right now, Mitchell Robinson is a veteran. RJ is a veteran. They played almost four years. Well,
Mitch for
especially
a year.
Especially Mitch. He's
Mm-hmm.
a veteran now. He's been in the league 4 years, and he's only 24, and he has so much upside. He's just starting to eclipse like what Aiden was doing a couple of years when he was 23, 24. He's starting to get his footwork together. He's starting to learn how to drive to the hole. I mean, get to the hole and grab the rebounds. Offensive rebounds, some defensive rebounds. I think that's a little more Julius Randle getting the rebounds from the defensive part of the rebound, the defensive part of the rebound. But Mitchell learned that, I mean, he's learning that. Mitch, big thing he has to learn how to do is hit free throws. He hit free throws, and I mean, I say this a lot about Mitch. Mitch has been here in New York, and he hasn't really had a point guard that was a facilitating point guard. A high score, a high assist point guard. A point guard that looks to facilitate before they think about scoring. Every guard that Mitch has had has been a scoring point guard or a scoring type guard. No one that really looks for him. He gets more of his scoring. Well, recently they've been looking for him. He gets a little bit more live passes to dunk the ball, but usually Mitch is down there grabbing offensive rebounds and either kicking it out or putting it back up on the board. So he gets somebody that looks for him. Even Mitch could be a 13, 14 point game player. He's been playing really good ball these last couple of months since he's been healthy. He's lost the weight and he's running up and down. He looks more energetic, and I think Mitch could be a cornerstone to the New York Knicks if they keep him.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I mean, yesterday, I think when we say vets, like I mean, you look at we have vets now. Like I said, you think about Nerlens and Alex Burks and 40 and then 30 years old. I mean, they 30 years old almost, pretty much. So, but for me, that's why I like when we speak about the Devontae Murrays of the world and Even Spider Mitchell, what, 5 years now?
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Them, that's what I mean. The
Young
timeline.
vet. Mm-hmm.
They fit Obi timeline. They fit Mitchell Robinson
Mm-hmm.
timeline. They fit RJ timeline. They fit Cam Reddish timeline. And then like you say, you get a couple of savvy veterans to lead them in the locker room. You know what I mean? You got to have locker room presence. That's what Todd Gibson will come at. That's what Derrick Rose will come at. I don't, like I said, but everybody else, I just don't want to pay them that much money. You know what I mean? And that's the problem, because when you paying them that much money, you forcing them guys to have to play. You gotta justify them. You gotta justify why you playing them, because you paying them so much money. See, a guy like Todd Gibson, you don't care if he don't play, because he only making $5 million. So the Knicks organization ain't gonna be frustrated about that. But when you got guys making $12, $13 million, you gotta play them. I would love to see some vets, older, at least 2 or 3 older veterans like Todd Gibson, one more like Todd Gibson, I could say. But then you feel like you said, Chop Howard, filling with them the veterans that fit the timeline of the guys that we have. That way they more mentors than they're actually gonna. You don't need them to produce on the court.
Right. Right.
You need to produce in the locker room and practice and experience. That's where I want to go with, because like I say, Todd Gibson, the Knicks should bring him back regardless. Because look what he did for Mitchell Robinson and Jericho Sims. Since Todd Gibson got there, look at Mitchell Robinson game. He don't foul out no more. Him and Kenny Payne, Todd Gibson and Kenny Payne got Mitchell Robinson not fouling out no more. Going more aggressive, learning how to stay on the feet more than he used to. So that's what I mean. That a young man can't teach himself that. He needs somebody to teach himself that. Somebody to teach him that. And I just think that's important to have guys like that. But I think we're gonna be good there. We got a good young nucleus in New York City. I'm happy with all the young men, all the young talent we got. I think McBride gonna go into the all season and be better. I think Quickly's gonna get better. I think Obi's gonna get better. I think RJ, Grimes, all these guys are gonna get better, because that's what they do. They workaholics. That's what I'm trying to say. Excuse me, Shop Howard. They workaholics, and let's not get it twisted. The reason why the Knicks is losing here is not because of talent. They just ain't hitting no free throw shots.
That is it.
I'm gonna put it straight out there right now.
And turnovers. Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
New York Knicks, besides the point guard, and maybe the injuries to Derrick Rose and Nerlens Noel and Kemba Walker, them, the Knicks is not losing because they're not a good team. They just ain't no free throws.
Even with Derrick Rose out, even with Noel out, even with Reddish being out, the games that the Knicks have lost this year,
free throws.
It's come down to free throws. Last night, 50-something percent, 58%.
21 to 36. We made 15 free throws last night. We lost by 12.
Free throws.
12.
You know what I mean? I remember one game, and just speaking about RJ, and I'm not putting no pressure on RJ, because I believe next year he's going to be around 80 points. 80% shooting his free throws. But I remember one game RJ shot 20. I think it was 27 free throws, and he hit 17. He missed 10. And I mean, something like that. That's major. The Knicks are getting to the hole. They are getting to the cup. They are getting fouled. They are getting to the free throw line. They're just not converting. Thank you, Devon. They're just not converting their shots at the free throw line. There's been a slew of games that we get down to the free throw line, and we hate to see someone go to the free throw line. We hate to see Randall go to the free throw line when we up by 4, because you might see Randall hit 1 and 1. You know what I mean? So you get to the line sometimes. I dig on Mitchell Robinson a little bit because of his free throws, but he is a big man. But he should shoot. Excuse me. He should shoot a better percentage. Maybe not 80%, but if you look at the better big centers in the league, they're shooting around 75%. You look at Joel Embiid. This guy has shot 160, 100. Yeah, he shot about almost 180 free throws this year, man. I think he's like, if not the number one, he's like in the top 3 of shooting free throws this year, and he shoots them at a clip of like almost 80%. You can't you hate to foul that guy, because you know, eight out of 10 times that he shoot the ball, he's going to make a free throw. I mean, eight out of 10 times he goes to the free throw line, he's going to hit them. You know,
Yep,
so
absolutely.
those are big numbers. You know, those are numbers that you don't have to be a major down low scorer if you can hit your free throw. And
Mhm.
B may score 40 points a night, but he definitely hits about 12 to 16 points from the free throw line every night.
Yep. Yeah, we definitely got to get somebody in there to get these guys focused on that, because I think that would, to me, that's the reason why we're not in the play-in in the playoffs.
Facts.
I just think that was free throw shooting. And, you know, y'all heard me talking about that 2 months ago. I was like, man,
It's
the
like
Knicks got to hit some free throws. Yeah, bro.
seven, yeah, 7 to 10 games, man. And turnovers was about the same, about 7 to 10 games. over 15 was it over 12? I don't even want to go to my paperwork. I think it was over 12. I think it was over 15 turnovers. Oh, 15 turnovers. And majority of the time in those games that they turn over 15 turnovers, they're shooting under 60% at the free throw line. That's a
Mm-hmm.
disaster to lose right there.
Yeah. Yeah, we down in a lot of offensive numbers, man. You know, and like I said, it's been a tough season for us, man. Like I said, we lost some key players, and you know, but you know, we got a lot of stuff to go in the off season to work on. You know, but I'm excited about what we got moving forward. I,
Oh,
I,
I
like-
am
I
too.
like what we got there, man. I kid you not. I really like. I think Tibbs just got to get. I think, and y'all know I'm a Tibbs guy. I'm not. Y'all know me. I don't hide from it. I know I don't like some of the things, some of the moves he make. Ain't nobody perfect. Like last night, I did not like the way in the second half, closer to the fourth quarter, he let Alex go 5 ISO plays in a row. You should have did that. You should have kept moving that ball around, and it got stagnant. You know, and when they would run up and down the court, because Obi Toppin didn't touch the ball for a while in one quarter. I'm like, man, you got to let Obi Toppin get this ball. The man is hot. But when they went kind of stagnant last night, the ball wasn't moving around the perimeter, and you know, and I think that's how KD and them got back in the game. So you know, I didn't like that last night, and I definitely didn't like him not bringing McBride back in there last night. I was like, you got to bring McBride back in there because his defense would have made a difference in that game to me when it got tight. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. So, but you know what? You know, we all got to check it up. He's going to be here next year. I mean, you know, let's hope that he learned off of some of his ways this year. You know, hopefully Tibbs can sit down and reevaluate all his films. Say, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? And he could correct some of his mistakes. But he's going to be here, whether the fan base like it or not. Knicks bringing Tom Thibodeau back. So you know, we just gonna have to support him. We gonna have to support him. You know what I mean? Pretty much that's what it boiled down to for me. But I think we'd be all right though. I think Tibbs, like I said, you know, he had to work with what he had to work with at the beginning of the year. The young guys wasn't ready. Kemba Walker didn't pan out. Derrick Rose got ended. Like I said, Nerlens Noel wasn't there. Mitchell Robinson wasn't healthy at the beginning of the year. So a lot of things went into the reason why we're not there. But damn, to that free throw shooting though was one of the major ones. I can
Facts.
say that right now. I was upset about that for 3 months. Like, man, you guys can't hit the bottom of the ocean out here, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you shooting, you going 21 for 33 or 7 for like 16. I mean, you can't win games like that. You leaving easy points off the board.
And to tell you the truth, Devon, they've been getting to the foul line. I don't remember the last game that they shot 10 free throws. You know what I mean? Every time that you hear them talk about it, is 19, 22, 30. They getting to the line, man. They just not consistent. They're not consistent at the line.
Facts.
And to say the one thing about Tibbs, I'm on the same boat with you, Divine. I'm not a hater on Tibbs. Some of the things Tibbs have done this year, yes, me and all of us Knicks fans have sat back and been like, why you do that, Tibbs? Why you put this guy in when he's smoking hot, and you take this guy that's on the bench cold as ice, and you taking out this guy that's on fire, you know, some of the rotations, running the 7-man rotation and the 9-man rotation and stuff like that, leaving some of the players in too long in the first quarter instead of substituting them out a little earlier to give them a little bit more break so they don't end up with 44 minutes at the end of the night, 42 minutes at the end of the night, 38 minutes at the end of the night. You know, some of those things, yes. But what I can say, what I've noticed, you know, and I'm not sure if anybody else knows, but under Tibbs, Mitchell Robinson's got better. Under Tibbs, RJ Barrett's got better.
Facts.
Under Tibbs, Obi Toppin's got better, even though he's pushing, and a lot of these things are pushed upon Tibbs now because of every the hoopla that's talking. Randall's out right now and stuff like that. IQ under Tibbs has got better.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Grimes, his first year, we don't play our rookies, but Grimes, once he got in there, he made a statement. Grimes will be in the rotation heavy next year, I believe. If
Mm-hmm.
they don't trade Grimes, he's going to be in the rotation heavy next year, and he's going to play good ball. I think next year, Deuce will get a little bit more of Tibbs' hopefulness, and maybe he'll get a little bit more minutes out there on the court. But a lot of these guys have played under Tibbs. He has, help elevate their game to move them up from what they were a year before, or these new guys to move them up the ladder to start their trajectory upward. So
Mm-hmm.
Tibbs, I'm not. I think with two less players, or if we with two less players that we had this year, that really kind of slowed us down a little bit. Aside from these early trades that we had with Kemba and the beginning of the season with Fournier, mid-season year with Fournier or something like that. Aside from that, man, he's done a not the best job. I'm not gonna say the best job. He almost got us there, man.
Yep.
And the reason why I say that is if we had hit our free throws, if
It'd be
we
a different tune, man. It'd be a
if we would have hit our free throws and not turned the ball over as much, we would have won much more games than what we have right now. We possibly could have had at least 6 more wins if we could have been better with our free throws.
Here's something else important. I want everybody to piggyback on it. Contemplate about this here. This is important. Julius Randle, Evan Fournier, R.J. Barrett, Burks, all these dudes. Guess what, guys? They all shot almost 40% or lower this year. All of them. Think about it. This ain't Tibbs. Sometime here, and I'm gonna make a comparison real quick. The Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, you know who's gonna get ran out of there? Vogel. Vogel and Tibbs are good coaches, but they team stunk up the joint. Westbrook stunk up the joint this year. Anthony Davis didn't do nothing this year. LeBron had a good season, but his numbers was kind of minute because they didn't really have a good season. But all the Knicks players, all our main players, all shot under 40% this year. All of them. I think the highest one was Fournier, 41% field goal percentage. RJ 39. Randall like 40, 39%. 37. I think Randall like 37, 38%. So we had a lot of guys on our team who shot poorly this year. That's why our offense is ranked. Our offense is not ranked because we don't have a system. Our offense is ranked because our boys didn't have a point guard to put them in the right spots. And them cats are terrible. If y'all can go Google it right quick, look at the Knicks stats for field goal percentage by each player this year. It's not a Nick in there than 45%, maybe except for Obi Toppin, probably, obviously Mitchell Robinson. Other than them two guys, everybody shot terrible. All of them. You know what I mean? So, and that's what I think we got to also take into consideration too, is that, Tibbs, he might have did certain things, but Tibbs don't put the ball in the bucket. Tibbs don't go to the foul line. Tibbs don't dribble the ball. Tibbs don't create turnovers. Tibbs don't let the man blow by him every night. Tibbs don't shoot 40% from the floor like Randall, RJ, Fournier. All these guys shot 40% or less. That's not Tom Thibodeau. You know what I mean? That's the players. So if the players shoot last night, they shot 21 for 36 last night. They missed 15 free throws. That ain't Tom Thibodeau.
Mm-mm.
And I'm not defending Tom Thibodeau. I'm just saying sometimes we got to hold the players accountable. Look at the Lakers. They won a championship with Frank Vogel. Now look at them. Because know why? Westbrook stunk up the joint. AD didn't do nothing. LeBron couldn't do it by himself. He had 30 points. He's scoring good, but like I said, the team was shabby. So sometimes we got to take, because the last year, Tiz wasn't a problem in New York last year. Know why? Everybody shot for almost 40% from the charity, not from the 3-point line. Reggie Bullock was over 40%. RJ shot 39%. Randall shot over 40% from the 3-point line last year, and so on and so on. But this year, all them cats' numbers is down from the 40 from the field goal percentage, and our free throws suck. And we didn't have a supreme point guard. So I get the Tibbs, bro. I get some Tibbs make a lot of mistakes sometimes. We might disagree the way. And a lot of these young guys at the beginning of the year, they wasn't ready. They didn't have the time. But now they got it because of injuries, and they started to be able to show improve. So I think you gotta be fair with Tibbs in this standpoint. He ain't perfect. We might disagree with his decision making sometime, but at the same time, the players is the ones got to step up and handle their business. You know what I mean? They got to go out there and show and prove. You know what I mean? And they just haven't. You know what I mean? They haven't. And look at, like I said, Tibbs, this ain't his first coach of the year. Tibbs won coach of the year. Tibbs can coach, man. If you look at his track record, Tibbs at 100 something games over 500 coaching in the NBA. Ain't like the cat is a scrub now. You know what I mean? Sometime when you ain't got the supreme talent, what you gonna do? You know what I mean? Because sometimes talent, this is a talent driven league. You understand what I'm saying, Shy Powers? Sometimes you gotta have the talent. And if your talent ain't there, like Julius Randle not having a Julius Randle last year, I don't think it's 10's fault because Julius Randle ain't did 24 and 11 this year. I don't think it's 10's fault because Julius Randle shot 40% last year. He had high numbers this year. Julius Randle numbers is down. I don't think that's 10's fault. I think that's Julius Randle's fault. You know what I mean? I don't agree with somebody shooting 40, 39% from the floor, not from the 3-point line, from the floor. All our players are shooting that. That's one of them dudes, man. Because like I said, you only can give him a game plan. I'm not defending Ted. He got mistakes. He made mistakes this year. I'm not. But I don't think we should be saying that the reason why the Knicks suck is because of Ted. I disagree with that 100% because our players didn't step their game up. Like look like I said last night, 34% from the 3-point line, 58% from the from the 3-point line. Charity stripe, and we only shot 38% from the floor. 38% from the floor last night. 38% from the floor. And we shot 34% from the 3-point line, and we shot 58% from the 3-point for the charity stripe. That's egregious. No, I don't care who Greg Popovich wouldn't have won that game. You understand what I'm saying, Sean Powell? So I think we got to be fair that the roster and Ted got to get better in the offseason than what they do. Because I just don't think that that's the case. Like that cat, ideally, God does not. They could know what it is. One thing I can say about RJ Barrett more than anybody on that team, at least if he goes to the hole and try to, if he's jump shot not falling, at least he try to get downhill to get some other buckets. He just need to master that foul shooting situation. You know what I mean? And then he'll be all right. And I think these other guys, I think they're gonna be fine. But I just don't think that it's all his blame. If you want to get Tibbs 40% because he the coach, I'll do 70-30. I do 70 player 30% Tibbs because sometimes you got to step the game up, my man. When you on the court, man, you got to produce.
Right.
KD and Kyrie produced last night. Some of our guys who we depended on didn't produce last night. That was the game over. That's it. Shot out. That's what it is to me.
I mean, like I said, and I'll say it again, man. This year, I believe it was 7 games that we lost because of free throw shooting, and about another 7 to 8 games that we lost because we had more turnover, more than 12 or 13 turnovers for the game. I think it was 15. The number was. We had more than 15 or above turnovers for the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's bad, man. You turn the ball over 15 times. That's almost 30 points that you're giving to a team. Almost, it's not every time that they could possibly go down and score, but it's 30. That's almost 30 points. That's being nice. That's being 2 points. Being at only 2 points, and then you get to the free throw line and you shoot 30 free throws and you hit 15. That ain't gonna win you too many games either. We got to get stronger with free throw shooting, and we got to get someone that. The one thing that I do like about IQ, I mean, I really do like IQ game, and I think this year, the off season, I think he's going to really change his game up. I think he's going to bulk up a little bit more. I think he's going to start to keep his head up instead of dribbling with his eyes down. He has a low turnover ratio to assists. I believe he is. I may be messing this number up. I think it's 5-1. He'll get you 4 to 5 4 to 5 assists, and then maybe he'll have a turnover. He doesn't give the ball up much. He doesn't turn the ball over too much, and I think that's something that we really need from a guard. We need someone that can get the assists up high, 6, 7 assists a game, 8 assists a game, with low turnovers. With low turnovers, if we could lower our turnovers to keep them to under 10 or under maybe 12,
Mm-hmm.
and hit about 80% from the line, we win at least 6, 7 more games. 6, 7 more games, we win this year. We'd probably be at almost even with our season. We'll almost be 50% this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, yeah, man. It's a lot of things contribute to what goes on. And that's what it is. And and here's the thing we gotta remember: the play. If you talk to the player, they believe in tips. You know what I mean? See, that's the thing that them players love tips. They believe in them, and that's why they wanted them back. Tibbs, he's a good coach, but sometimes, like I said, your manager can give you the game plan to run your business. He can give you the game plan. I don't care where you work at. He give you the game plan. You run your company here. I'm giving you the blueprint. But if you don't execute the blueprint, you can't blame it on the guy who gave you the blueprint. You know what I mean? You just didn't execute the blueprint. You know what I mean? So I think, but he got a lot of. He's not a perfect coach. No coach is perfect. None of them is perfect. But I do think we also got to realize the talent that's on the roster too. We don't have a KD. We don't have a Kyrie. We don't have a LeBron. We don't have a, Giannis Antetokounmpo. We don't have guys like that down there. That's not Julius Randle. It's not RJ. They young. They got to grow into that level. You know what I mean? And much as we might harp about RJ Barrett, let me tell you something. Look at when Antetokounmpo came into the league. He couldn't shoot to save his life.
Mm-hmm.
Even to last year, he couldn't even shoot a 3-point shot. Look what he did this year. So you got to give these young guys a chance to grow and develop, man. You know what I mean? Especially RJ. The kid had a phenomenal second half of the season. We knew coming out of college he wasn't a good shooter. We knew that. But he's still producing. So once his shot get better, he's going to be even more better. But you got to let these guys grow, man. You got to let RJ grow. And you got to let Quickly grow. You got to let Mitchell Robinson grow. These are young men who learn in the NBA, and they don't happen overnight. Like I said, Giannis Antetokounmpo, look how long it took him to get to where he at. Look how long it took him to get there. But it's the work and determination, the putting in the work, going hard. Look where he got to now. And I think that's what you guys got to do. You guys got to let these guys grow. I think this whole young roster we got, they all talented. You just got to give them enough time to let them grow and become who they need to be. And I think we do have guys out there that's like that. I think RJ going, listen to me. If RJ was hitting his free throws right now, Shy Powers, RJ be averaging almost 23, 24 points a game.
It might even be more than that.
Right. Literally, if he was hitting his free throw. So, you know what? And there's a lot of guys who don't shoot free throws good in the NBA. He ain't the only one. Antetokounmpo ain't that good. He just started getting better at it. A lot of these guys, you just got to let them grow, man. And I think they're going to be all right, though. I really do. I think our team going to be good. I think we got a nice young nucleus down there. I really like them young core players we got. We just got to let them guys grow. And, and like what they say, trust the process. You know what I mean? So, and we'll see how it goes. I really think they special, man. I really do. I like what the Knicks got done now. We've been watching. When the last time the Knicks had a team like this here? A nice bunch of young dudes who hungry, who really got game. You might not see what happened. What I think about last night that bothers me. Even though Quickly didn't shoot the ball last night, he had more assists than anybody on the team last night. And he had an off night. But you can't take what Quickly did for the last month and a half. You can't take away one bad game and compared to the other 5, 6, 7, 15, 20 games he had since May 18th. Since March 18th, I put the stat up there. Quickly's been lighting it up for the Knicks. He's been one of our better players, consistent players. So, we went up against a team last night who just was they had more superior talent than us. And we didn't have a closer last night, and they showed at the end of the game. That you had one of the top 5 players in the game on the court last night. 2 of the top 10 players on the game last night. We don't have nobody on that court last night was not even in the top 150. So I mean, it happens. But I'm excited about what we got, man. I just think that let's go into next year hoping that the draft work out real well. If we keep the pick or we don't keep the pick, I believe in what the front office did, man. Like I said, I don't think last year. A lot of people think it was a fluke. It wasn't no fluke last year. We had a good defensive-minded ball club who could lock you down last year. Reggie Bullock is killing it right now in Dallas right now. Killing it out there right now for them. You know what I mean? and you got Alfred Payton, who was a good, solid, hard-nosed defender at the point guard spot, who wasn't looking to shoot, but he was also facilitating pretty good. We missed that. You know what I mean? Because we don't have a point guard that was doing what Alfred Payton was doing for the Knicks last year to this year. The only one that came close might have been McBride. He was a rookie. So I do think that, we missed Reggie Bullock them last year, man. That's why I tell everybody, man, don't get caught up in these 3-point numbers and all this stuff, man, because you gotta have guys who can play, who can lock people down. They got to defend the ball. They got to be gritty. To play in New York, you got to have that mentality. And I think we lost that last year. We lost that this year. We lost that grittiness between them two guys right there, man. We lost that. And Nerlens Noel, we lost that. Shot Powers. Nerlens Noel didn't play the whole year almost. We lost that. We missed that 2.5 blocks a game almost last year. You know what I mean? He was a big part of what we did last year. Not to have that for the whole season almost.
The whole season, from the beginning of the season.
Right. Derrick Rose came over here, got traded here. We went on a streak when we got Derrick Rose here last year. We missed that stuff, man. You can't account for that when you got young guys who are not going to do that every night. Even if you threw McBride and Sims and Grimes them, they still going to go up and down. They still going to be peaks of it because they're young. They still going to make some mistakes. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. So I do think that, you know what? I think this season was one of them injury riddle seasons, COVID, inconsistency from our players. All our players got to get in that gym this year. Randall too. Randall, Fournier, RJ, all of them got to get in there and get that percentage up. They shot 40% or lower. I can't state that enough. You're not winning in NBA shooting percentages like that. If Randall ain't shooting, if Randall's jump shot ain't on, and then he can't get to the bucket, we out. If RJ ain't hitting free throws, his 3-point shot ain't falling, we screwed. If Fournier not hitting 3-point shots, we screwed. You know what I mean? That's what it all boiled down to. If Alice Burks ain't popping that night, we screwed. I don't care who Tibbs throwing there, we screwed. But I do think, we got to, if we wasn't for that free throw shooting, this would have been a different season for me.
Facts. I could chalk it up. All the mishaps that we had this year, Mitch coming in out of shape, not having Noel in the beginning of the year, D Rose going out sometime in December and stuff like that. Those are really big hits against us. And we try to troop through. We lost some games that we shouldn't have this year to teams that we shouldn't have, like the Magic. We shouldn't have lost those games to them. But it's a learning curve. You know what I mean? We had a big mishap. The Knicks fans going up against Randall or vice versa. That was real big this year. That was something that we have to talk about. Aside from COVID and all that stuff, we missed Noel and D Rose for pretty much the whole year. You know what I mean? Pretty much the whole year we missed these guys. So, not saying D Rose would have made much of a difference, but I think he would have made a difference. Not saying Noel would have made much of a difference, but he would have made a difference, So, with those guys out, I think it changed a little bit of our outlook this year. And we try to fight through it, but we just couldn't come up to the line. We just missed hitting the line. We'll be all right next year, man. I'll say it again, man. Derrick Rose and Noel, also the start of the way Mitchell Robinson came in this year, being a little bit overweight, set us back a couple of games. You know what I mean? Set us back a couple of games. So, but it is nothing that we can cry over spilled milk right now and stuff like that. It's almost over. But those things, and even with those guys not being here, even with Noel not being here, even with Rose not being here, we shot horrible from the free throw line this year. We shot horrible from the free throw line this year, and our turnovers, I think, we turned the ball over. I forgot I wish I had my book here. We turned the ball over. I think we were
we the bottom of the league in that.
Yeah, I think we turned the ball over I think it was like 24 25th position, something like that. We were really kind of high on turnovers, man. And our free throw percentage is like 68%. Maybe over the
Like
last
that.
couple of
Can't
games,
win
it
like
may
that,
have
bro.
jumped up to 70, but we were shooting almost 60% for the year, man. That's terrible.
You can't win like that. Yeah, you shooting
Can't win like
60%
that,
from the
man.
free throw line. The boys shooting under all your major players shooting under 40% from the man. You can't win like that. And here's another thing. Here's why how important Rhodes was. If we had Derrick Rose, we wouldn't have had to put Alice Burks at the point guard spot. Regardless, we could have kept Alice Burks at the three. You know what I mean? Because we had Rose that he had to play a lot of minutes, but he could have contribute in a way that it would allow Alex Burks to be in his natural position. You know what I mean? Instead of having the ball in his hand, he could come off the get the pass, score, not having to have the ball in his hand, to score all the time. And I think it would have made a major difference. So I think there's a lot of things that attribute to the season. I'm not making excuses for the season, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that overall we got to get better in quite a few departments for us to be to get back where we want to. We got to fix that free throw problem. We definitely got that's one of the major issues for the Knicks. We got to fix that, and we got to find a point guard that's going to help put these guys in the right positions like a good quarterback. We need a point guard who's going to put these guys in the right position, get them the ball at the right time, so and who can command the ball so it won't get stagnant. You know what I mean? We got to find a point guard who's not going to allow Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett, none of these guys to hold that ball and try to go downhill. No, give me the ball. I'll put you in a position to go downhill.
That's exactly what they need.
Right. They need somebody who said, I don't have a problem with Randall going downhill. I don't have a problem with R.J. going downhill, but they need a point guard who's going to put them in that position to say, okay, go downhill now, because you can't just go downhill at any time, because you might try to go downhill at one time when it's too crowded. But you got a good floor general and say, you know what? The defense got leaked out the other way. Now, RJ, you can go down there. I'll get you the ball now because the other guy took a defender away from the basket, or Julius Randle. I'll get you the ball now because that dude pulled the dude away from the basket. Now the lane is open. You need a point guard who's going to see that. And without that, these guys be going in there with three guys in the lane. Last night, RJ tried to take it to four people.
Right.
You can't do that. So that's why it's important. It's a lot of things contribute to this stuff, man. So, like I said, the team overall, they underachieve, but at the same time, it's understandable. I think when you lost Derrick Rose and Kemba Walker, that hurt us. Because even though Kemba Walker might not have had a tremendous, he is a point guard. He demands attention. He gets down the hole, and he's gonna enjoy the defense. He know when to set a guy up. He know where to put you at in your spots. Him and Derrick Rose know how to do that. Quickly learning how to do that. McBride just wasn't ready to do that. Alex Burks don't even know how to do that because he's a scorer. He's not a pass first point guard. So, and that's what it happened to us, man. We got to take it for what it is with these guys, man. It ain't all Tiz, bro. Like I said, sometimes we got to call it for what it is. Our team shot poorly. Look at our we're reading why we 27th in the lead in offense ain't only because of Tiz. Them cats wasn't shooting the ball. They inconsistent. They're inconsistent. That's all it is. Talent. They're inconsistent. And hopefully they go into the all season and get better, shot Powell, and come back out with a different mindset. And all they gotta do is just get better at the free throw line, work on that game, keep doing what they've been doing. I think hopefully Cam Reddish and get back. Hopefully, if Randall's still here, Randall can have a bounce back season if he's still here, or if any of them still here. Hopefully they come back next year more better. Even Fournier can't come in here this year and wait till the second half of the season to start getting good.
Facts.
You can't put that on Tibbs. You cannot put Fournier stinking it up the first half of the season, then coming strongly finally getting the groove. You can't blame Tibbs for RJ having a subpar first quarter of the season.
None of the guys, none of them knew how to play with each other.
Right. So it's a lot to that, man. But it's all good, man. I think we're gonna be fine. I like the young energy we got. I hope they can. I hope Cam Reddish and RJ and Quickly and Mitch and Sims, all these guys going to all season, get up in Tarrytown in the summer and just and work on your game. And that's all you got to do. And you'll come back and be all right. That's one game. That's one game. One game. So what? What about the other 30-some games after that? May 4th, he won the first game, but what happened after that? Go look at. I'm not going to debate with nobody. Go look at Evan Fournier numbers in the first half of the season. I'm not even going to debate with nobody.
You don't even have to look. You could do the comparison of the beginning of the year and end
Right.
of the year thing
They
right
better
now.
do that,
You know
bro.
what I mean? Even from March, we were just talking about it the other game, the
Mm-hmm.
other day. Yeah, he's been shooting better. He's have done better.
Up,
But
you know.
in the last 10, 12 games, he's definitely had 3 games that's been 3, 5, and 7,
Hey, man,
two,
come on,
3,
man.
5, and 7. So yeah, Fournier has shot better, but he's not consistent.
Not at all.
He's not even averaging his points out because he has scored a couple of high scoring games this year. He's still only 14 points a game. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
he's
yeah,
he's
right.
still
And
he's
you know
still
what?
only he's still only 14 points a game. He ain't grabbing no rebounds. I don't think his average in rebounds this year is, and I'm just winging it. I don't think he got more than 2, and I definitely don't think he got more than 2 assists.
Right,
He may
right.
got a couple of steals. I don't even think his percentage of steals is more than 2. So
Real quick though, hey May 4th, you're 100% right. Nobody is not excluding our Manuel Quickly at the beginning of the year. Manuel Quickly was going through it too.
oh yeah, we was
Right,
talking
he was
about him
going through it
too.
too. Ain't nobody excluding
Mm-mm.
him. But at the same time, look at Emmanuel Quickly now. Here's the difference. Emmanuel Quickly is a second-year pro. Evan Fournier is a 10-year vet making $19 million. Emmanuel Quickly is a second year, a rookie. This is his
Making 2
second
million,
year
making $2 million.
making $2 million. He can afford
If
to have a
that.
sophomore jink, a sophomore slump, or learn the game. Emmanuel Quickly is just got to the NBA. Evan Fournier been in the NBA 10 years and making $19 million. You should expect you could expect that from Quickly. Quickly just got here last year. Quickly, here's a prime example. Quickly averaged what last year? 11 points a game. What Evan
What
Fournier averaging this year a game? 14 points a game. Quickly averaged 11 in his rookie year. Come on now. Yeah, we not excluding none of these Knicks players. Like I just said a few minutes ago, all of them shooting under 40% from the field. Quickly, Fournier, Randall, RJ, all of them. But Fournier, only reason I brought him up is
except for
because that
Mitch.
was the topic. And he did stink up the joint in the beginning of the year. That's a fact. It ain't no throwing shade, it's the truth. The truth. Ain't no matter how you can put it. The man stunk up the joint at the beginning of the year. He came after the All-Star break. He started playing a little better. But you expect that from somebody who's been in the league that long, who know how to play the game, who got $19 million because that's what we brought him here for. So you can't compare Fournier to Manuel Quickly, who just got to the league last year. That's crazy. That Obi Top, you can't compare Obi Toppin and Julius Randle. Obi Toppin just got here last year. Julius Randle been here. You know what I mean? These guys know the game. They done played against all these players already. Emmanuel Quickly never played against a lot of these players last year, but Fournier did. Fournier been playing with these players. He played against these players for 10 years. So come on, let's be real about this, man. I'm not throwing shade, but you got to call the truth the truth. Fournier did not have a good season. None of the Knicks had a good year at the beginning. So that's how I look at it. I mean, that's all it is.
May 4th, you talking about in his career or just this year about Evan Fournier and RJ? Because RJ's scoring this year is 21 points a game, and
Yeah, yeah.
Evan Fournier has never scored 20 points.
In his
His
whole
highest
career.
his highest season, I believe, was like 19, almost 20. I think it was 19.5,
Nah,
19.6, something
19
like
point
that.
something game. He never scored 20 in his whole
Never
career.
scored 20 points.
Never did.
Yeah, he never scored it. So,
Yeah,
well,
he's not having
if
no
you had
better than
if all right,
RJ.
so if you had a pickup game and you had to pick Fournier or RJ Barrett, who you picking?
Right. And May 4th, here's another reason Evan Fournier not having a better year than RJ Barrett. He not scoring the ball better than him. He
Not
not rebounding
rebounding,
better than him. He not
definitely not.
passing the ball better than him. And he not
Definitely none
defending
of
better
that.
than him. He not doing none of that. He ain't having no better season than RJ. Fournier and RJ don't even in his third year. I mean, I'm not trying to bash Evan. What I'm saying is that's the reason why the topic I had earlier was about I don't want to pay nobody a vet 30 years old that much money. I'd rather give it to somebody 24, 25 who got years to keep growing. Evan Fournier done reached his peak. Evan Fournier is not getting no better than he is now. That's it. That's it. He might learn a little bit of tricks of the trade from 31 to 32 to 33 years old, but That's why I say I'd rather get somebody like Todd Gibson $5 million at his age to give Evan Fournier $20 million at his age when he done reached his ceiling. RJ haven't even scratched his ceiling yet. Fournier done reached his ceiling. He is not going to get no better than who he is.
Yeah, he's kind of
He's
set in
done.
his ways.
Yeah, he done reached the ceiling. RJ can improve his free throw shooting. RJ can improve his jump shot. RJ can still got time to improve his decision making. He still got time to improve his defense. He only 21. Evan Fournier done reached his max. He finished. So, and I'm not going to say Fournier, even Julius Randle. Julius Randle ain't got much more he can do. Because so I think that's just what it is. It's the way it is, man. But it's all good, man. Fournier is a Knick, and I love it when he's doing his thing. I like RJ when he's doing his thing, but I don't like when they not doing their thing. RJ stuck up the joint last night for the Knicks. Let me put that out there. Last night, in that game last night, RJ stunk up the joint for the Knicks last night.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the reason why. He was a plus 17 and 19. He missed his teammates quite a few times, and I'm a RJ dude. But you got to call it like you said. RJ were forcing mad shots last night, trying to go between four people, and when he could have just kicked the ball to Obi Toppin, or he could have kicked it to Burks or Fournier. So RJ didn't have a good game last night. A lot of them didn't, but it's one game. That don't take away from the rest of the good season he had. RJ Barrett averaged 20 points a game this year. He went from 17 to 20. That's improvement. That's not getting better. That's not getting worse. That's getting better. His rebounding got a little better. His assists got a little better. His defense got better. This man was playing KD the whole night last night until the second quarter. The second half, KD got in his bag. But at least the man had the heart and the gut to say, I'm going to defend KD tonight. They ain't put nobody. They didn't put Obi on him. Why do you think Tibbs didn't put Obi Toppin on KD last night? Because he knew that KD would have put Obi Toppin in foul trouble early. But he
in the blender.
Yeah, and he know RJ got the poise to say, okay, you know what? I just got to stay in front of this guy. He might score 40 on me, but I'm gonna make it a hard 40. In that first half, RJ made that hard on my man last night because he stayed in front of him. And every time he shot a shot, he contested it. He ain't got to block it, but he contested it. So that part of RJ game was decent last night. It just was the overall offense, decision-making, playmaking. That's where he lost the game at. You know what I mean? Because he scored 20-something, KD short 30. So, that's how it goes, man. You know what I mean?
Salute to D-Ross, man. I remember we talked about that. That bad steak for Fournier, boy.
Right. Right. But that's what it is, man. Hey, what? We passionate. We all wise up here. Salute to the chat. Y'all on fire. Listen, man, you know what? Well, we make sure that we always cross all the T's and dot all the I's and don't let the emotion get in the way. We'll still deal with all the facts. And that's why I think we should always deal with the facts with a lot of this stuff. The Knicks team overall 27th in the league, and all our top players shot under 40%. You can't deny that. The numbers don't lie. No matter how you look at it, you can blame who you want to. The numbers don't lie. And our team, 27th in the league of offense, Randall, Fournier, RJ, all of them catch shot under 40%. And that's why we at where we at. They got to get better. They got to get better. You know what I mean? I don't think none of them trash. I don't think none of our players is trash. I think they all good players. They just got to get better at what they do. I'm excited about Quickly. I'm excited about Mitch. I'm excited about Jericho Sims. I'm excited about Quentin Grimes, especially. I think he's gonna be the real deal. I'm excited about these guys, man, and I'm excited about McBride. All of them. I think they all gonna be all right. I ain't worried about them cats because they got good. One thing about Tibbs, he could develop some ball players. You see what he did with Rhodes, see what he did with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler came in the league, didn't even know how to shoot a good mid-range. Tibbs turned that boy into something special. He turned Jimmy Butler into something special. That was Tibbs. You know what I mean? So he doing that.
Not to cut you off, Divine. And Tibbs did the same thing oh my gosh. I just got brain. Who's the guy? Jimmy Butler. He did the same thing to Butler. He when Butler came into the league, he played less than 10 minutes, 8, 10, 12 minutes, quick game in and out, but he developed him. And look what Butler is now. Even though Tibbs has been fired from two teams already. That's true, and he may not be here after this year. This year he don't have 2 guaranteed years after this year. So maybe this might be the year they just let him run it out, so they don't have to pay another coach after they fire him for years on their contract and stuff like that.
Yeah, real quick, let's be frank. Tibbs didn't get fired from Chicago.
No, not really.
Tibbs left and took when he went to Minnesota, he didn't get fired as a coach. He got fired as
As
the
a
president
GM,
of basketball operation.
right? Basketball, right?
Yeah, Tibbs is a good coach, man. I don't know. None of y'all was in here saying that last year. Nobody in this chat was talking about bad Tibbs. Well, you might have disagreed on some of the moves he made,
I
but
still do.
Tibbs is a damn good coach. The man, his record speak for itself. Put it like that. That's all I can say. His record speak for itself. Just like Pop and everybody else, they records speak for themselves. You win in this league with talent. You win in the NBA with talent. That's the real deal. If you ain't got talent, you're not winning. I don't care how good you coach. You know, if Pop wouldn't have had Tim Duncan, Mount Ginobili, Parker, and David Robinson, and them, he wouldn't have had wouldn't have had the numbers he had. If them cats wouldn't have had LeBron and Dwayne Wade, I don't care how good every sports is. You only good as a talent that you have. You coach good talent. You give a person a mediocre talent, he make the best of it. Tibbs last year made the best of a mediocre roster last year. A mediocre roster last year. There's not too many coaches would have took the Knicks to 41 wins last year. I can tell you that right now in the NBA. Not too many would have did that. Took a team with Julius Randle, your highest paid player, the only one making double-digit money. Everybody else in that roster, everybody on the Knicks roster last year was making $5 million or less. The only person on the Knicks roster last year that was making double-digit money last year was Julius Randle. Julius Randle. Everybody else with $5 million or less. He took a roster with no superstars, all role players, and he got them to 41 wins last year. Ain't a lot of people gonna do that. They're not, and I haven't seen it done yet. So you got and we see they got them to the playoffs. That ain't easy to do. I don't care who you are. You know what I mean? And you look, prime example. Look at this year. Like I said, the Lakers. The Lakers got four Hall of Famers. They ain't even in the buy-in. They ain't even in the play-in, shop hours. They not even in the play-in.
Actually, we got a better record than them, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
I think we got a better record than them.
He is King. Tibbs is the perfect NBA coach. The cast of numbers speak for themselves, guys. I mean, whether you like Tibbs, you don't like him, you can't dispute his numbers. You can't dispute them. I don't care how you look at it, you can't dispute them. You know what I mean? Like I said, the man came here last year. We ain't been to the playoffs in 8 years, Sharp Powers. Tibbs came here 1 year. We ain't been to the playoffs since 2013 or something like that.
Yeah, mellow years.
He came in 1 year. First year, he took us to the playoffs. He made 8 million last year. I think he was around 5 or 6 last year. Matter of fact,
I think it might have been around 8 million, 5 to 8 million.
No, it was 8 for 2 years. Because I'm gonna tell you why. It was 8 for 2 years. Because the reason why, when Reggie Bullock had that back injury, they restructured his contract.
Him. Yeah, something else. Yeah,
it was 8 for 2 years. Nobody, I don't think, on the Knicks roster made over $10 million.
Oh, okay. So okay.
Yeah, real talk. I think they signed him for $8 million for 2 years, but when he hurt his back, I think they restructured it because of the back injury. And they said, well, they were gonna let him go. And Scott Perry said, no, we restructure your contract, and they kept him. And that was a good move by Scott Perry. But you know what? I just think that we'd be all right, man. We got to get a little bit more talent, or the talent we got to get a little bit more seasoned. You know what I mean? The meat got to get seasoned. I think these guys come back next year. Shy Powell. I think RJ Barrett come back ready. I think Grimes come back ready. I think Quickly come back better. I think Mitch come back if he's still here. I think all these guys, because they did it last year. Look at what Quickly was in his rookie year. Obi Toppin was in their rookie year. To look at where they at now. You know what I mean? Because they got a full season in the practice. COVID year, they came in the league COVID year, couldn't play no summer league. All that stuff makes a difference. You know what I mean? But I'm excited about them. I think we're gonna be good to go. That's for sure.
Yeah, I know. I just feel this young core.
Okay.
I think this young core is just gonna come back, and I think they're all gonna go to hit the gym real hard. I think you're gonna see these guys' chest all swollen up next year. Their muscles all gonna be shining. They're gonna be looking like they're ready for something. And if we make some pretty big moves in this off season, we will see a different style of New York Knicks basketball under Tom Thibodeau. If we can get us a big point guard that can stay consistent and stay consecutive and get us high assists,
Mm-hmm.
we are going to see a more on the lines of what Tibbs team a team that Tibbs wants to put out on the court. A lot of this year, Tibbs had to miss and match, and sometimes he had to let some of his guys that he trusted stay in the game a little longer than he should have. A
Mm-hmm.
couple of games he's done that, and I think if you give him a team that he wants, if you could get him if they do move on from Randall and get them a point guard, a premier point guard. We need a point. We need a point guard. We need someone that looks to come down the come down from taking the ball out and looking ahead than to looking to get the ball over the timeline at 16 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing that we need to do, and hopefully this year, that's the one big thing that I hope we do, and I hope we get. I hope it. I want us to make a big move. I want us to get a big time point guard. I think we need a big time point guard, someone to pair up with the rant to pair up with RJ, to pair up with Reddish, to pair up with Obi, to put those guys over the top. But if we stay pat and we go the IQ way, then we'll if we stay pat if we go IQ, we're gonna pretty much bring pretty much the whole team back that we have. You know what I mean? But if we get a big time point guard right now, IQ can stay in the second unit and run that second unit to perfection. I think that second unit will be we got the matches. I mean, if for RJ, if we could put him back into this to the two, we could have Grimes coming off the bench for him. If we have Reddish starting at the three, then we can have Fournier coming off the bench for him. We got this guy Holmes that I don't know much about. So if we have for now, if we have Obi coming as the forward, then we could probably have Holmes to back him up. If we could keep Mitchell Robinson, we could possibly have Sims to back him up. So the only real position that we really need someone to start. We need a starting point guard, and who that's going to be, I'm not sure of, man. And I hope they go big fish hunting. That's what I hope. I hope they get somebody
I left
big.
it up because Ford got a good question there. He said, "What would y'all would have did when he put Kevin Durant at center last night? Um, what could we have done? Um, because we were so short manded. I don't think nothing you could have done. To be honest with you, there's nobody on that team who can guard Kevin Durant. Nobody. Kevin Durant is the top three player in the game. I don't care where you put Kevin Durant at 6'11".
It ain't nobody in the league really
Ain't
can.
nobody in the league can dare to stop Kevin Durant. I don't care who you would have put on that team last night.
Yeah, ain't no really body who
Trevor
goes.
Sam couldn't do it. Obi Toppin couldn't do it. I don't care. And nobody on that Nick roster last night in that quarter could have stopped Kevin Durant. He's Kevin Durant. You know what I mean? Top three player in the game. Some people call him top one. So I don't know, maybe for what we would have did. We could have blitzed him, maybe double teamed him. I don't know. I'm not sure. But if that would have worked it, because we would have tried to double team them, they would have kicked it to Kyrie or Patty Mills. They would have been dropping threes all over the place.
That's exactly what I was worried
Right.
about last night.
You know what? That game was pretty much over when we let them in there. You know what I mean? So it's hard to say what I did. I don't think enough we could have did with him. I just think that they closed the game with Kyrie and Kevin Durant. Ain't too much you could do after that. To be honest with you. Yeah, he did. He did make four. He pulled that. That was a good one, man. He went because you know what, Drummond wasn't doing nothing. Claxton wasn't doing nothing. So he said, I'm gonna put my best player at the center spot. And so they couldn't do nothing with it, man. That was tough right there. Yeah, you're right, bro. It's checkmate for sure. Cause he was like, yo, because now what you're doing is you got Kevin Durant pulling whoever our center is out at the 3-point line. You know what I mean? Like, damn, so the lane was wide open probably. And it was tough, man. That like I said, that was a tough matchup for the Knicks last night. They played them well in that first half, but it was tough after that. But Nash did pull some out of the bag on that one on May 4th. Yeah, he pulled that out.
Fade John Wall for 1 year. You know,
I don't have a problem with that
I
because
mean,
it's a
you know,
1 year deal. 1 year deal.
what we are we moving on from who we trading? Who you said Rand? Oh, if we miss out on Brunson and that's Donovan Mitchell. Oh yeah, Donovan Mitchell. Probably yeah. Okay, but
Oh
who
yeah,
will we give up? Who will we give up for Wall? Wall's contract is like $44 million.
I would go. I would go if they was willing to do it. I would try to see if they want our aspirants like Nerves Noel is what 10, Burks is 10, um what's the name? Kimber Walker is 9, 10. That's what 30 million
30.
right there. Unless you could throw the Fournier in there, Fournier 20. You could do Fournier, Burks, and Noel. That's 40 million. And they might want some picks, obviously.
Yeah, we could give them two or three second-round picks.
Yeah, right. So they ain't getting no first though. You ain't
And
getting
not
that.
for
But
Wall.
only you now don't have a problem doing that. I do think that it solves a point guard situation and it allows Cam Reddish to get some burn. It allows Grimes to get some
Facts.
burn. It allows Quickly to get some burn. You can move 3 guys for John Wall, free up 3 roster spots, and that means you get Cam Reddish guaranteed to be the backup 3. You got Quentin Grimes guaranteed the backup 2. I'm cool with that because I think John Wall still can still help a team. I mean, he ain't played in a while, but before John Wall went down, John Wall was the real
A
deal.
beast.
They talking about he was one of the top point guard in
A
the league.
beast.
For 1 year, I think John Wall, I wouldn't have a problem with it because I think it gives us enough time to let these guys get one more good year in them. And so that 40 million come out the books. That means you could extend RJ, you can get Cam Reddish some money.
That's
And the
true, big
the
boy.
key is to get them contracts off the book and be able to have that freed up money. And then you know what, you're gonna shake and move here and there. So yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with it if we don't do nothing else. Like Fabian said, if we don't get these other guys, I wouldn't have a problem with that just for 1 year. And here's another thing too, Shah. You can trade him at the deadline.
Yeah.
Expiring anyway. You can flip Wall at the deadline, and you can flip Wall at the deadline. It might bring in another piece, a couple of picks, or a couple of seconds, or a first, or whatever. So it's a good business move. I think John Wall is better than any point guard we got on the Knicks right now.
Facts.
That's for sure.
Big guy that drives. I mean, we haven't seen him play and all that stuff, but he might be hungry to hit the court.
Yeah, man.
He might get out here and surprise
1 year.
everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
you
1
know.
year, bro. 1 year. Then after that, that money is gone. Sayonara, gone. And hey, and Westbrook in the same situation, 40-something million dollars. And look at and like I said, Rockets need a center. They can use Nerlens Noel to back up the young guy they got down there. Good point, Fabian. What's it, the Sergoff, whatever his name is. They can use Nerlens Noel money to back him up. And at the trading deadline, they could flip Noel too to a contender. But I wouldn't have a problem with it. I think it might be a good look.
Yeah, something to look at. I mean, it's going to be so many things to look at. How they want to move this thing and who they're going to bring in. I just want them to get. I mean, I wouldn't even be now that we mentioned his name, John Wall. I wouldn't be opposed to having him for 1 year to see what he could do and take it to the trade deadline and move on from him if we don't like him and stuff like that. That could be something to be looked at. But I really want them to go out. I keep getting this taste in my mouth, man, and I keep feeling Donovan Mitchell, man. I
Yeah,
keep feel I keep feeling Donovan Mitchell, man. And I think Donovan could be switched to a point guard to be the point guard and have RJ at the 2 and Reddish at the 3. And if we could get Obi and if we could keep Mitch, that would be a formidable team to be going out there with every night. You would really see the value of Mitch. You would really see the value of Mitch with Donovan Mitchell playing the ball. You would see how what he does for Gobert over there and Utah that could be something to be seen. But I just think we need a big point. We need a point guard, man. We need a point. I don't care how big he is, how tall he is. We need a point guard that can control the point to be our quarterback. We need something like that this year.
Yeah. Hey, May 4th, you dead on with that. Durant would have ate that boy alive. Sims, he's young. He's a young up and coming dude, but he would have taught that boy. You talking about a kindergarten versus to the 12th grader? Durant compared to Jericho Sims is like a kid in the first grade going up against a cat is a senior. So that man would have get up. He'd have gave him the business, bro. Because know what Jericho Sims would do good at. He's good at he get caught up in head fakes. Durant would have head faked that boy a couple of times. He would have went up, smacked him on the arm, foul. So yeah, but he's learning though. But I don't think he could handle that dude. But you right, Fabian. Russell Wilson 6 turnovers a game. I take Wall over that all day. And Wall here's another thing I like about Wall. He plays the Obi Toppin and RJ Barrett pace. He's a pacemaker. You know what I mean? He's not not only a half court dude. John Wall can run a fast break though. You know what I mean? So, but if, I like what Will said. Will, I would do that. Will, no question. Would I trade Julius Randle for hell yeah, I would do that. Because here's why. You saving almost $70 million, $80 million. If John Wall for 1 year, $40 million, you getting rid of Randall's $117 million deal, you saving $80 million off your cap for the next 5 years. You got out of that. You know what I mean? You got out of that. So you take 40 away from 117, probably 80-something thousand, whatever in that range. You for the year after that, you saved almost $70-80 million. So I would do that within a heartbeat. Julius Randle's salary done for him? Yeah, I would. Yes, sir. There's no question about it. Because, like I said, you put the organization in a good situation. Because think about once Wall contract is on the books, you don't got Julius Randle's contract no more. We back to square one with almost $60-70 million to play with. Because that by then you got all them other aspirants that might not be there. So the Knicks got in a good spot, man. I kid you not. I would not have a problem with that, man. Good one, Will. That's a good one. I would have to do that. Just from not only from a business standpoint. You allow Obi Toppin to get the keys to Obi Toppin at the power forward. You got a point guard like John Wall who can really get out there and run up and down the court with these young boys, teach them a thing or two, and then know what you move on from them for 1 year. I think John Wall would have I think he'd be a better fit than Kemba Walker was.
Facts.
I think he would have been a better fit than Kemba Walker was. And it would have been it. Salute my man, Cash Out, my brother. Salute my man. Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you got in here, brother. We probably be in for another 15-20, but I'm glad you made it in. What do you mean by that, Fabian? Talk to me, brother. I don't know if that's bad or good. Making your blood run cold. I hope not. I hope it's not a negative thing. John Wall had young Jeff. Yeah, he did, man. And him and Bill them, they had a little good Porter Porter down there, Otto Porter, something like that. That's when they had who else was down there then, man?
Yeah, they had a little crew down there.
Oubre. Young Oubre was down there at the time. They was on to something down there, man. They just didn't pull it through, man. And then they had to go the other way. Yeah, they did have a good squad down there. I thought they were going to be on the cusp of doing something too. That injury set them back, but like I said, for that 1 year though, I would have to take that. I would have to take that for 1 year, just to be able to move some of the contracts. We had that money pretty soon because you have to sign somebody. You got to think about it. We got a lot of players we're gonna have to sign. Yeah, you're right. Once Nick, we do got to see how it goes, man, because it's gonna be really interesting, man. Because I was hearing a report today, Shaw Powers. The Charlotte Hornets talking about getting Westbrook.
Let them.
Yeah.
Because if they get Westbrook, maybe we could make a trade for Terry Rozier.
Facts. Right.
Maybe we could get Scary Terry over here and give Randall up for Scary Terry.
Yeah.
They make around the same amount of money. I think they make around 20. I think Terry is around 19 to 24 a game or something like that. There's a couple of one man move things that that the Knicks could do if they looking to get off of Randall. They can they got a couple of teams. Charlotte, like I said, Terry Rozier. You got if you want to make a signing a trade or whatever, you can If you want to look Indiana Pacers for Brogdon, if you want to go to the Mavericks, you can sign and trade for Brunson,
Mm-hmm.
or you can give up Grimes and Julius Randle and get Zion.
Yep, yep. Hey, but May 4th, nail right on the head. We do need to get taller though. I agree with May 4th on that. That's why I would love to say if you move on. See, I like Randall as a player, but Randall is a 6'8", 6'9" power forward. We need a 6'10", 6'11" dude. For the prime example, like last night, we had nobody on that team who could square up with Kevin Durant. RJ 6'7". You know what I mean? Tops. There's nobody on that team who's on a wing position that could have guarded Kevin Durant last night. And that's why I agree with May 4th. I was saying earlier, we need somebody like a 6'10", 6'11" backup power forward behind Obi Toppin or whatever. Or cause I think Obi Toppin might get the reign next year if you move Randall. But if you can go, even if you go in the draft and get a 6'10", 6'11" kid who can stretch the floor, got a good little shot and could rebound the ball, and that's not a bad look. You know what I mean? He can't though. You're right, he can't. But that's why I thought about the Christian Wood thing. I'm like, you know what, Dan? What about they left up and traded Randall and somebody, blah blah blah, get Christian Woods and John Wall, because Christian Woods got expiring next year too. So you can flip for Christian Woods and John Wall for Randall, Fournier, Burks, I don't give whatever for 1 year.
Yeah, that sounds like something. You'd probably have to add some picks in there, but
Mm-hmm.
that might get something popping.
Yep. I think so, man. Because I do think that would have helped us out in that length side, like May 4 said. The length, we need some length down there because our power forward situation, Randall, the tallest thing we got, him and Obi Toppin. You know what I mean? Yeah, I
Mm.
like Siaka, man. He disappointed me in the bubble though. He's kind of shrunk in the bubble cash out, but he got game though. He got game. What would you put it? Would do you know? I'm interested to see what they're gonna do. Yep. Yeah, you're right, Fabian. I think that would have been the show. I remember you calling that out too, Fabian. Real talk. Let me give you flowers on that, man. That would have you've been calling that out for a while. But I think that would be the move, though. Yeah, I agree. His defense ain't that great, but I think for 1 year, I think I can probably live with it. For 1 year, May 4th. 1 year maybe just hope Tibbs can have a team defense thing going with not that much because he could block a shot if he put the effort in. And another thing too, like a lot of these guys we talk about, think about the systems they playing and the teams they own. Sometimes the organization you playing in they don't develop you enough. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm happy about the Knicks organization. We developing our players. I can see them getting better every year. You know what I mean? And Andre Black, okay, I can see that. I'll keep an eye on him once they go always Nick. Yeah, Andre Black, that's not a bad look there. So we got to see. That's what I love to see. I would love to see us get a little bit more length down there because we going up against teams in the league now. Them cats got length up front. I mean, you ain't too many teams that don't have it. You know what I mean? Look at Cleveland. The Milwaukee Bucks, Lopez under the combo, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Andre Drummond, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, this person. I mean, it goes on and on, man. You know what I mean? It's like cats got almost double 7-footers up there, man. Hey, D-Rod, the way he playing right now, he probably better than all of them. Probably better than all of them. The way he playing, yeah, that's a good one. You got jokes. Yeah, but hey, man, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a fun off season, everybody. It's gonna be a fun one. He said Randall for Isaiah Stewart and Sadiq Bey. Not a bad look. Not a bad look. I think Randall can get you but I think Randall, if we do decide to move on from Randall, which I don't know if we will, I think you definitely can get something for him though. He's a good talent, man. His contract, and especially if the CBA go up, if CBA go up like it's supposed to, Randall contract ain't nothing. It ain't that bad. So I think a team is willing to eat that. So he's that talent. He's a talented dude, man. Shaw Powell. I think Randall can make it happen.
Randall's contract is not a bad contract.
Mm-hmm.
If you sit and watch, all right, just for example, and I bring this up a lot. Um, Westbrook has been traded, if I'm not mistaken, 3 times since he had that big contract, $40 million contract. So if you and I know they're in different realms of how they were because at the time when this guy was getting traded, he was a triple threat. he would come in and he could get you a triple double across the board. I think he almost averaged the season with a triple double. So different, but if you can move $40 million, I believe you can move this 20, and I think it's 23 with
23,
a cent.
26,
Yeah,
29.
23, 26 with I think incentives or something like that,
Yep.
or whatever it is, 26 or something like that. That could be moved. That
Yep.
could be moved, and like a team like Portland. I think I'm swaying a little bit over to Portland a little bit to move Julius Randle over to Portland to play with Lillard, and we could pick up their point guard over there and one other player and bring them back here and salary dump. We could dump their salaries as quick as possible or
Hey,
trade them off to another team.
facts. And let me tell you something else about Powell's entrance. I'm gonna tell you why Westbrook had a down year. To me, playing with LeBron, the game is
Yep.
the same. See,
Yep.
Westbrook is the one who need the ball in his hand.
Sure enough.
And I think Westbrook playing with LeBron was a bad move because Westbrook need the ball in his hand first. He's not a jump shooter. You can't get the ball to LeBron then pass it to Westbrook expecting to do something. It should have been the opposite way. And I think that was a bad combination having Westbrook and LeBron James. Because I think Westbrook, see, that's what made Westbrook and KD so lethal. Because Westbrook can get the ball, get down the hole, and then drop that thing off to James Harden or Kevin Durant. And there you go. This year, him and LeBron play the same type of game. I thought that was like, yeah, that ain't gonna work. He's not a good jump shooter. LeBron got better as his age went on, but he's not a prolific jump shooter. And I just think Westbrook and LeBron was a terrible combination down there in LA because Westbrook demands the ball in his hand and LeBron demands the ball in his hand. They both not good shooters. I think that was kind of scary. Then for that to happen, I think LeBron screwed that up when they went after him. They should have went after DeRozan.
Mm.
Because DeRozan is the shooter.
Everybody should have went after DeRozan. We
Right.
should have got DeRozan than Fournier. We could have gave DeRozan $4
Couple
more
more
million. Couple more $1 million. We could have had him. I don't know how good they would have played together, him and Randall, but I believe Randall wouldn't have been acting the way he's acting now if we had DeRozan on the team. That's a premier veteran right there. He might have sat down and just got his points off the pass.
And that's all he needed. Because you know what? And he had that mid-range game too. And ain't no Knicks out there got a mid-range game. He would have made a difference for the Knicks, big time. I think his mid-range game is that lethal, and that way you could have kept them other guys on the perimeter, and he could have did work in there. And if you went to double team in the lane, then you had Mitchell Robinson right there to pass it to and all that good stuff. So it was really interesting. Yeah, you're right, Mayford. That was tough playing at home, man. But that in that LeBron situation, I just think that was a bad look. You know what I mean? And even when he was in Houston, you see how you notice it worked with Bradley Beal because Bradley Beal was a shooter, a scorer. You know what I mean? It didn't work with James Harden because James Harden needed the ball too much. You know what I mean? In Houston, him and James Harden ate the ball too much. Then when he got the Washington, he literally brought Washington out to the play-in. Him and my man Bill. So it was tough. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, man. There's a whole.
Yeah, you're right, bro. He right. Shaw was right on that. That's what it should have been. And that's what I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. That's what Scott Perry wanted. People think because Fournier played in Orlando when Scott Perry was out there, Scott Perry did not want Fournier. Scott Perry wanted DeRozan. And that was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. You would have thought that he wanted, but see, you know what it is? Scott Perry knew what Evan Fournier was. He's the general manager down there. He knew Evan Fournier's game, and that's why he wanted DeRozan. And that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up, Will. And Shaw brought it up. I'm going to say, Shaw, I'm glad you brought it up because that's what Scott Perry wanted. He wanted DeRozan. DeRozan is in the MVP conversation right now. Now they losing now because the team, but they lost Lonzo Ball. He been getting it, man. I wanted DeMar DeRozan back when Melo was here. I always wanted him in New York. This cat would have been lethal with Carmelo Anthony back in the day, but it never happened. But it was tough. But yeah, man, it's all good, man. We got a game tomorrow night. Knicks going to be down in. Let me get it right. Tomorrow, Knicks will be in
Washington, right?
Washington. Yeah, we got 2 games left. Wizards, and then we home for the Raptors, man. So we definitely be here tomorrow night, man. We get a pop-up free game. Y'all already know what it is. That's a 6:00 game tomorrow with the Wizards. So 5:30 Knicks Real Talk pregame preview. We be here, get it popping. We still can't forget it. Yeah, you know, how y'all feel about that, man? What's y'all take on Jeremy Grant?
He's an older veteran, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't Jeremy Grant around 30?
No, he's young. I think he about Randall 8 or younger.
Oh yeah,
and he's a defender too.
There's so many of them Grants. Which Grant is that one?
You got his younger brother who was with the Knicks a while ago.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, and Cash, I like Jeremy Grant for that 1 year. I don't know because he got a 1 year left on that $20 million deal, but I like his game though. He's a defender, bro. Jeremy Grant, he athletic. He can defend with the best of them. I wouldn't have a problem with that. If you did him and Randall swap, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Like I said, he only got 1 year left on that $20 million unless you want to extend him. But I wouldn't have a problem with Jeremy Grant. I like Grant. He can get it down, man. Yeah, that's true. Yep, I like Grant. Yeah, he is, man. I think he might go to Portland. Will they were talking about him going to Portland? That's why I said if you could move Randall, can you imagine that? I think if you could move Randall to Portland for Bledsoe to Spire and them 2 picks, I think Frank was talking about one time, and then they still could sign Jeremy Grant out there. So now you got Damian Lillard, Randall, and Jeremy Grant at the 1, 3, and the 4. All they got to do is, and they got Anthony Simons at the 2.
Right.
All you got to do is plug in. You bring Nurkic back and plug in another center there. They got a good team down there, a really good team. So they definitely got some things they could do. I like Jeremy Grant though, man. I think his game is nice. I really like the way he played. But it's all good, man. But listen, man, guys, we're gonna get out of here. I know we got to get up and make the donuts in the morning, like the old commercial used to say, time to make the donuts. I know Shop Powell got to get rest. We got to get popping. On the chat, y'all on fire tonight as always, man. Appreciate y'all coming in and hanging out with us tonight. You know, if y'all, we be open tomorrow, man. 5:30, Knicks Real Talk pregame. Knicks against the Wizards. You know what I mean? Porzingis better go down there and see what he gonna do. And but all of it's a good night, man. Great thoughts, great ideas, everybody, man. We appreciate y'all. Shop Powell, my brother, give me some last words, and we get up out of here for you to get it popping.
Salute to you, Divine, as always. Salute to the chat. That's where it's at, man. Great chat down there, man. Like you say, invisible panel, man, because you guys got me stargazing off. I look at my TV to see the chat. So if I'm looking cross-eyed, that's because I'm looking at the chat over there.
Yes,
that's where it's at.
Salute everybody, man. Yes, Cash Out. We got you, brother. We know duty calls, man. But yo, great time, great show, chat. Thanks for coming in, man. Always, man. We appreciate y'all supporting the show. We might not be the biggest platform, but we one of the most realest platforms, that's for sure. But we know as we keep growing, keep maturation, keep getting better. Next season coming with some more vibe, phone dial-ins, everything. We're gonna get it popping next year, man. So you know, it's just like our rookies. It's a maturation. You know what I mean? You got to get better as time going. Next, we'll talk about you continue to get better and better. And we eventually will open up the panel once we get this thing the way we want to. But y'all just keep hanging in there with us. We appreciate y'all, man. We know y'all got our back. Until tomorrow, man. Y'all have a good Thursday, man. We see y'all tomorrow night, man. Salute to the chat. Peace.